Welcome back, folks. Welcome to another tier list video. I'm Black Templar, and today we're going to be covering the monster season of Blood Bowl. Now, what's the monster season, you may ask? That's basically every team, so basically 30 plus matches plus playoffs. So this is where teams will be both nearing their mid lifespan and their late span. So let's get to it. Amazons. Where do they fall in? B. Now, the reason for this, guys, is quite simple. The Amazons, yes, they will have a lot of great skills, but everyone around them will get stronger. This is going to be a constant theme with this. All the teams will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And with certain teams having glass ceilings, this is where they can get a bit problematic. In the Amazons' case, a lot of teams will have block and tackle. I mean, they will have block as well, a lot of blodge pieces. But with everyone having tackle, their tricks will become null and they'll just become regular humans. Blackhawks. Low B this time. Because although the main Blackhawks are still strong, it's the Goblins that are the main problem. The Goblins tend to get injured a lot, and this is where you need them for the ball handling. Now, the Blackhawks will become an absolute menace in the front line, but they do suffer from that little problem of the Goblins being a bit weak. Bretonia. High B. Now, the reason for this is quite simple. The previous game, they're at their sweet spot. But the longer it goes, the more teams are going to have ways of dealing with players. Like your blocks, your tackles, your wrestles, your mighty blows. They will start to have their fair share of problems. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that things will start to get a little bit hairy for them. Chaos Dwarfs. B. Because at this point, the Bull Centaurs are nightmares. The Chaos Warriors are tough. The Chaos, the main blockers, the 5 casts are better. And hopefully you've got a couple of Hobgobs who have got some skills. But like the Blackhawks, the Hobgobs are the problem. They don't get the general skills quick enough. And could be on the low end. Chaos Renegades. Now, this is an interesting one. Animosity is a problem. The big guys will hardly get any skills. They might get block or dodge 1 to 2. And that's it. As for the main runner, he could get skills, but he will be still a massive target. And the humans, if they don't get many skills quickly, they're going to suffer. So the Chaos Renegades. Drop the C. High C, mind you, but still C because, yes, they can get stronger, but the problem is with the main big three, they'll struggle. The thrower, yeah, he can get some skills, but he is relying heavily on good passes and animosity kicking him in the teeth. And the Dark Elf runner, he's another guy you've got to hope he doesn't get picked off. So, yeah, teams around are getting stronger than what they are. Chaos. B. Because they've got more room to develop and more time, this is a team that could become an absolute powerhouse. Unfortunately, you are relying yet again the Beastmen to get skills quickly to have at least a decent ball handler and hope to heavens that the Chaos Warriors can either get some points to get themselves to be a tough line out, but they will struggle. Dark Elves. A tier. Because, yes, I said about block and tackle being around, but they are still a tough team because of their AG4. AG4 is what's keeping them in the fight. Even though most people would say they would be hard to deal with, could deal with them eventually, but because of their AG4, it gets them out of trouble. Dwarves. This is when dwarves become absolute monsters. Now that they have more room to develop, they can get block, they can get tackle, guard, mighty blow. Yes, it will take a while to get it, but with a long season, as the monster season does, this will become a team of absolute horrors to deal with. Now, does that mean that they're going to be the be-all end-all winners? I don't think so. I think they are going to be one, if not the most annoying teams to deal with. But they do have their limits. They're very slow, and their speed is questionable. And also the fact that their dodging potential is bad. The fact is that anyone who's got like decent speed on them is going to beat them in a speed race. But if they get the ball, they are so hard to get it off. So it's going to be one of those cases where you've got to hope to slow them to a crawl. But they are tough to deal with. The Gnomes. D tier. Yeah. The first D tier. Yeah, by the time they might get dodge, but by that point, most of the teams have got block, tackle, mighty blow. They're practically going to be murdering them on piecemeal. The Treemen, yes, as powerful as they are still slow and can't really do much. The Fox is going to be their main guy who's going to get a lot of points. But the problem with the Fox is he's one of those players that if he gets picked off or stalled, that's how that team struggles. So, yeah, unfortunately, guys, the Gnomes have got their fair share of problems. A lot. If they were dodge with Wrestle, I would have tipped them higher, but because they don't have dodge, they need to get dodge as fast as possible. Goblins. Yes, I'm afraid they're a D tier as well. Yes, the Trolls don't suffer loner. Yes, they've got secret weapons. But there's your problem. You've only got one drive with them. And if you do not get the drive going, or if you get caught out, then they just fall apart. Also, attrition is their main problem. I mean, yes, later on in the season, they might get some star players, make some tricks, but by that point, they're either out of the running or they're just pretty much fighting not to get killed. High Elves. Again, they struggle. Attrition / everyone's got the skills to take them out. I mean, if they can get a few blotch pieces, they could survive, but the problem is it's getting there before that happens. And if many teams can get there quick enough, they're going to struggle. High Elves. Again, guys, AG4 saves their bacon. Now, yes, if they suffer a collapse, they will struggle. We've seen it multiple times. But it's very rare it happens. Normally with High Elves, in fact, all Elf teams, they tend to struggle. But these guys, they're sturdy, they're tough, they'll be hard to shift. Humans. A tier. Because their skill set is so vast, they don't need to get much skill points. Throw just need a couple of like passing skills. The catcher just needs block and sprint or sure feet. The blitzer just needs mighty blow. What can I say? They've got tricks. And they're good old Jack of all teams. They're still a top tier team. Imperial Nobility. A tier. Again, like the humans, they've got a lot of tricks. And plus the fact, defend, all you got to do give them is dodge and say, right, I have dodge. I'm not going to go down easy, and I'm going to slow you down to a crawl. Now, I know some people say, why would the Praetorians not put it up? But that's the problem with the Praetorians. They need to get their guys quickly to dodge. Same as them, but they have got ways of slowing people down. Like the bodyguards. The bodyguards just grab the 4 strongest players and go, yeah, you're going nowhere. The ogre's just going to be duking with the big guy, and it's just the rest are going to have to deal with whatever's left. Khemri. B. Because now they have time to develop the Tomb Guards and develop the other players, they'll become an absolute monstrous threat. However, this all depends on if the Tomb Guardians can quickly get their level up. If you can get them to get their first block skill, then you are not shifting these bozos. They are horrifying. Khorne. Being brawling brutes means that they're going to get a lot of casualties, but unfortunately, the aim in the game is always score touchdowns, and this is where they're probably going to have problems. However, with the corner goals now practically don't need sure hands, and all they need is just block and any running ability because of the new secure ball rule, they're going to be very good in this format. However, they do need a lot. They have got a lot of time to build their team, and they could become an absolute threat. B tier. They do have their issues, guys. Really do. They do have their issues, but they're still a strong team. Lizardmen. They drop one. Now, why did they drop one? Like I said before, in the YouTube League, they're at their sweet spot. But in this case, because this season is longer, a lot of teams will have ways of dealing with the Skinks and dealing with the Sorai. So they have more ways. Now, don't get me wrong. The Sorai, when they get their skills up, they're absolute monsters. But it takes them a while to get it. They're not brawling brutes. Now, the Skinks could quickly get blodge pieces quickly or special players to get around fast. But they are relying on not getting hurt while doing it. So they do have their issues, but they are still a very good team. They're a top, high B tier. So they're just under A, but not there yet. Necromantic. B, because the werewolves, by this point, the werewolves are absolute terrors. They've got block, dodge, and they just run around the field just having a really ball. You got the ghouls who also got their skills, who are running around like maniacs. The big guys, if they've gotten their skills, they'll probably have block. And you've got the normal zombies doing their thing. But it's mainly the werewolves and the ghouls who are just going to buff them up and make them absolute nasty. Norse. C tier. This is where Norse attrition becomes a problem. When they start losing players, any good players, they tend to fall apart. The Beer Boar is practically worthless. And the Valkyries, yes, they are the ones who are getting points, so are the Berserkers. But the Wolfrons, if the Wolfrons do not get a skill up quickly, they just fall apart. And with attrition issues with this team, they do suffer a bit. So they are a C tier. Nurgle. A lot of people are going to be shocked about this. Yes, Nurgle are A tier. Why are they A tier? The Rotters. Cheapest chips. You don't care about them. If they get skills, good. You got the Pestigors who can pick up the ball easy, who can run down. They've got steady foot. They're going to be hard to bring down. The Bloaters, you can't shift them. And as soon as they get blocked, that's it. You have had it. They're not going anywhere. You've got the Rot Spawn with the pickup skill. Go, right. Oh, 4 of my guys are down. Up you get, boys, for free. Yeah, so they are a nasty team. Early on, they will be weak, but as the season progresses, they get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. This is a team you do not want to get into the late game. You want them early, get them out the way quick. Because if you get them in later games and they become insanely strong, you're in for the long haul. And trust me, I've had many games where I've faced the Nurgle team where it took me everything I had to beat them or get a draw. Sometimes I even lose because I cannot get rid of them or they just overpower me. Ogres. C. Low C, mind you. Yes, the ogres themselves are good. They can get skills. But again, it's the Snatlings. And you're relying on star players to hopefully bail you out. But by later this season, you're either in a situation where you're not doing anything or you're just getting absolutely hammered. The Orcs. B. Unlike the humans, they do not have dedicated catchers, but their blitzers, their biggins, and their normal guys are going to be tougher. The throwers going to have some decent skills. The goblins are going to be okay. The trolls going to do some work. They're brawling brutes, so they could get skills quickly, but they do have issues with ball control because, they're not fast, and they've got to try and bulldoze their way through a few teams to get the goal. 9 out of 10 of these guys, you're either going to get a win or a draw or pretty much get stomped. So it's pretty much anyone's guess with this team. Overworld. Another A tier. What can I say? They've got all the tricks of the dwarves and the humans. You get a treeman. You're practically making this team ridiculously strong. I mean, yes, even they could go toe to toe with dwarfs because they've got this defensive skills. Go, oh, we have God. So do we. Oh, well, that's pretty worthless. And same as, I mean, they've got the advantage of a one-turn touchdown with throwing the halfling down the pitch. They've got that speedy catcher. They've got decent throwers. They've got the blitzers. So, what can I say? This team is an absolute nightmare to deal with. But they do suffer from the fact that other teams around them are getting stronger. So other teams could beat them, but they just got to be so hard to deal with because of all the tricks they've been given. Pro Elves. Like their cousins, because they're AG4 and they've got decent armor, they're going to be hard to get rid of. Unless they have a collapse, this is a team that will get faster and stronger. You're going to have to be prepared to really deal with them as best you can. I hope that Nuffle decides, to give them the Nuffling. Skaven. Upper B. Yes, the Gunrunners have gotten their blood skills. The Blitzers have got some good skills. But it's the rest of the... And the Throwers got a few good skills. But it's the rest of the team, the chaff, that just gets either murdered prodigiously every other game, or they get eaten by the Rat Ogre. So, in other words, you're relying on the fact that the Skaven don't get killed. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for at least try and get some Skaven with some block skills or some decent skills to keep them alive. But you are suffering certain problems because everyone around them has got skills to deal with them. Snotlings. C. Now, you may be thinking, wait, they're better than them? One reason. Because their team does not contribute to their team value, they can get a lot of star players and try and eke out wins where they can. While they can get some players because, they're not as strong as their counterparts, but they get it off the bat. So this is where I feel they could sneak up a level or two. Like the Ogres, because they've got the same deal. This is where they're going to struggle. Undead. B tier. Again, because everyone is getting stronger. I mean, the mummies are no joke. If they get a few skills, they're terrifying. The zombies, you're going to give them block or guard, one or two, but mainly block. The Right and the ghouls are causing havoc, but that's 4 players. The rest are just trying to, excuse me, trying to hold teams or try and deal with them. Underworld. What can I say, guys? Again, by the time we've reached the end of the season, you're either in a situation where a lot of teams have got blocks and tackles to deal with half your team, or you're in a crippling situation. I mean, they're not a bad team, but the problem is you are dealing with a lot of, lots of blocks, dodges, wrestles, and all that. They could easily just hold you up and deal with you quickly. That's the problem. Vampires. Are they A? Not quite. They're B. Yes, the vampires are absolute monsters. The Volkgeist is an absolute destruction machine. But it's the Thralls. And Bloodlust. Those 2 simple problems, guys, that causes damage. Because you see, the problem with them, the Thralls, is they're weak armored. And plus, if the vampires have a Bloodlust session, it can really destroy your team. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means you have to hope to heaven that the vampires keep their Bloodlust in check and hope that you can get some of your Thralls up levels. Because we've seen this happen when I played them, where I had a couple of block pieces and they got taken out by the vampires, and it was my own team was just ridiculous. So this can happen. Wood Elves. You didn't see that coming, did you? Yes, they get weaker. Now let me explain why. You see, most of their team has weak armor. The only one who's got strong armor is the Treeman and the War Dancer. Everyone else has weak armor. And with everyone having block and tackle and mighty blow, they're going to get broken a lot. And if you got tackle, you're going to go after the War Dancer and the catcher and pick them off. This is where the Wood Elves get weaker. And it might surprise people, but this is where the Elves are no longer high A. They're mainly mid to low A now, because everyone around them has ways of dealing with them. Yes, Agility 4 is the biggest pain because it means they can get out of situations. But if they get caught or forced into a mosh pit situation, oh dear, they're in trouble. But what do you think? Do you believe this is the right way for the monster season? Do you agree or disagree? Leave a comment in the comment section below. I know these videos are getting shorter, but let's be honest, guys, you pretty much know them by now. You've seen them, you've watched my videos, so you kind of know what to expect with them. But anyhow, folks, I'll see you next time. We'll be covering a monster season again, but this time with the draft rules in place. And oh boy, certain teams go for radical changes in the draft. Anyhow, I'll catch you later.